All right, and good evening, everyone. I'm Joshua Weisel here in the Weather 225 Storm Studios. You're taking a look at our Earth Cam, and this is located in Holiday Island, Arkansas. And if you remember, our midday outlook was showing a little bit breezier conditions earlier. Right now, things are looking mostly calm. Now, it's been an interesting afternoon and evening area-wide, as some of us saw some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and, well, quite frankly, some of us didn't even see any activity at all. So some of us did see some rain, some of us saw nothing. Overall, it's been one of the hottest days we've seen so far this year in many locations. So overnight tonight, pretty much cut and dry forecast, pretty much the same temperatures that we saw last night in many areas. We're talking lower to mid 70s area wide. Here's a look at your lows for tomorrow morning. And, if you're in Oklahoma, parts of the River Valley, that's where it's going to start off a little bit more on the humid side and a little bit more on the warmer side as well. That's a look at our regional lows tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow afternoon, the system that's moving through, you're going to start to notice some changes with that forecast. And that's primarily going to be the highs that are going to be notably cooler compared to today. Now, it's not going to be cold by any means, and it's not going to be super cool by any means either. We're not talking 90s down to the 70s. We're talking 90s down to the upper 80s for many locations. Otherwise, some areas that were in the upper 80s, maybe in the lower to mid 80s, especially parts of, southwest Missouri, northwest Arkansas. So one of the larger cool downs is going to be further to the west. So Stillwater today, we were forecasting highs around 97. So roughly a 10-degree difference or so as we're making our way into the forecast for tomorrow. So it's going to be at least cooler than it was today, but certainly not a significant cool down. So we're not talking, 90 to 70 degrees, anything like that. For the remainder of today into tonight, and I'll show you the regional radar here in just a second, there's still a low to medium risk for severe weather. Now, keep in mind, this is going to look a little bit different than some of the ones you'll see on TV or the Storm Prediction Center. This is our own unique algorithm. It kind of combines what the Storm Prediction Center does, as well as some other ingredients and information behind the scenes, and it combines it. And it's doing a pretty good job today. Right in the medium risk is where we've seen more of those warnings this afternoon. Still, there's a low-end risk, but not zero risk for the remainder of the area pretty much, and that was also pretty good. We did see a couple of warnings and storms that were close to warning levels across parts of the area, especially one warned storm that was in downtown Tulsa with confirmed quarter-sized hail. So that's a look at what we've got for the remainder of today, and that will continue until 7 in the morning. But keep in mind, as the storms move through, and I'll show you here in a second, there's going to be a little imaginary line that moves through. There's not going to be a line of storms, but you'll see the storms riding that as it makes its way through the area. Once that passes, severe weather opportunities will drop dramatically. In fact, the watches are actually dropping behind that activity. Here's a look at the regional rain chances today, and notice how there is a little bit of a line that expands across I-40. That wouldn't surprise me. The models have done an okay job with this activity today, but it's not perfect. So there is the potential that there could be what we call back building. And that's kind of when you see activity that's in one area and then it starts to kind of build behind it. That could occur later this evening once those storms make their way closer to the I-40 corridor. So the algorithm's kind of picking that up and hinting that there could be some additional rain chances. But keep in mind, it doesn't mean guaranteed rain chances by any means. It's just something to keep an eye on. In fact, some of us, if we do see rainfall for the remainder of tonight, could see a couple tenths of an inch to maybe an inch of rainfall. With this activity, it's moving quicker than some of the activity we've seen over the last couple weeks, and so it's not going to be extremely slow moving, but it could lead to some problems. So here's a look at what we got with the regional radar. Here's the look at the watches that we have until 9 o'clock. We still have a couple hours as of this update with this, but notice as it crossed the border from Missouri to Arkansas, it dropped. So as this area of storms continues to push to the south, it wouldn't surprise me if they drop additional counties with this activity. It's just something we'll need to keep an eye on. So here's a look at future scan radar and the activity. It's been doing a pretty good job with this. It actually nailed that activity near Tulsa. Not quite perfect, but it was doing a pretty decent job. Here's a look at by the time we get to 11 o'clock. Overnight tonight, many of us should stay dry until we get to tomorrow morning. Along and south of I-40, a couple scattered showers and thunderstorms may be possible. By the time we get later into the morning till about midday, there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms further to the north and west and parts of northeast Oklahoma. Oklahoma. So tomorrow's rain chances, there's still going to be a potential, but we're only talking 10 to 20%. So we're not expecting anything widespread. The only widespread thing I'm forecasting is going to be the allergens. And we have pretty much anything from high to very high levels depending on the type of pollutant. Mold is the overall highest pollutant that we have, and that's going to be because, well, we have all this moisture and all that rain that we've recently seen. It's very, very odd because we still see some significant drought conditions on the drought monitor in parts of the area. But at the same time, you have a lot of that sitting water and humidity, and it's leading to the mold issue with the allergens. So kind of a weird one. And then unfortunately, all that rain hasn't washed away all the other pollen. So we're still dealing with some issues there. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast that we have going forward. So a little bit quieter, maybe a couple afternoon pop-up showers and storms between, tomorrow and Thursday. I lowered those rain chances for Thursday. It's looking a little bit better by the time we get to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even early next week as well. And notice temperatures, they're not going to be in the upper 80s, lower 90s for Northwest Arkansas for the remainder of the 7-day forecast. So the system that's moving through, it's going to knock those temperatures down. And then we have a couple more rounds that should bring consistent temperatures for at least the remainder of the 7-day forecast. Same with the River Valley. Say goodbye to the 90s because besides tomorrow, a couple areas could hit the 90s tomorrow. Besides that, it looks like we're going to stay back into the mid 80s by the time we get through the remainder of the 7-day forecast. Northeast Oklahoma, kind of the same thing. We're going from the upper 80s into the lower 80s, and you can see even the morning lows are going to be in the 60s some of these mornings as well. Daily rain chances, and Thursday looks to be a little bit better opportunity for Northeast Oklahoma. And then Southwest Missouri may need to pay a visit because I'm slowly figuring out, since, I've lived in North Texas the majority of my life. I grew up there. And so obviously we have, incredibly hot summers with 103 and the heat index is 112 kind of thing. And so, I thought I was escaping that, and I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of hot weather. So may have to pay a visit with some of those lows in the 50s. That looks like a fantastic day and morning overall. So get out there if you're headed out to Silver Dollar City. Next couple of days look pretty good. Friday through Monday, there could be some daily rain and storm chances. I wouldn't cancel those plans just because, nothing is certain. That's a look at what we got with that 7-day forecast. Tune in tomorrow morning for the latest information as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like these updates, share with your friends and family. That helps get our outreach out there. And if you're looking to advertise your local business on these weather segments or on the 7-day forecast or even on the stream in general, contact us. Head over to weather225.com, hit the Advertise With Us tab. It'll share some information. We'll get in contact with you if you send us an email or call us, and we will give you all the information about advertising on our platforms. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a good one. If you like our media and forecast, be sure to support us today on Patreon. Advertise with us this storm season and throughout the year. Contact us today for availability and pricing. Weather225 since 2015.